I'm Steve Kiefer, the Vice President of Industry and Product Marketing for GXS. And today I want to talk to you a little bit more about the study that we recently conducted with SCM World and Professor Martin Christopher of Cranfield University on the topic of enhancing customer-centric supply chains. One of the key findings that we had in the study is that there's a lot of complexity in the supply chain, both in terms of the processes used as well as the technology. And specifically, one of the findings that came out of the study was that there's a lot of complexity in the area of B2B e-commerce. Now, what do we mean when we say complexity in terms of B2B e-commerce? Well, let's say two companies, a buyer and a supplier, agree to do EDI. Sounds straightforward, but it really isn't. What version of EDI are you talking about? In the US and Canada, we use the ANSI X12 standard. But if you go over to the United Kingdom, they use a different standard called Tradecoms. In mainland Europe, they use EDIFACT and different variants of it in different industries. For example, the automotive industry uses VDA and Gallia. Go over to Asia, into Japan, and they use EAIJ. Korea uses Korean EDIFACT. In various different other countries around the world, you're going to find standards like the EANCOM ones from GS1. So once you've decided which message standard you want to use, then you can have the discussion about how you're going to actually exchange the data. Maybe you'll send it over an EI van, or you'll directly exchange it over the internet. But if so, which standard are you going to use? AS1, AS2, AS3, AS4, FTP over VPN, FTP with SSL, FTP with SSH, SOAP, MQ series. There are many, many different transport protocols that can be used to exchange B2B transactions. And there are many different document sets. Which transactions are you going to exchange with your buyer or your supplier? Purchase order, invoice, advanced shipment notice? Those are the three most popular. But companies also exchange credit notes, debit notes, purchase order changes, purchase order acknowledgments, shipment status updates, point of sale data, product catalogs, price catalogs, forecasts, inventory positions. There are many different documents. And within each of these different documents, there's 30 or 50 different fields that are quite open to interpretation by both the sender and the receiver as to what type of data they want to put in there. Which fields are required, which fields are optional, will vary depending upon the trading partner relationships. And then finally, what timing or sequencing exists around the documents. If I send you a purchase order, how quickly do you need to acknowledge it? Within 2 hours? Within 4 hours? Within 24 hours? If you're shipping me goods, how far in advance do you need to send me an advance shipment notice? A day? 2 days? Maybe just midnight the night before? So you can start to see that one of the things that's really driving complexity around the area of B2B commerce is that there's so many choices and so much flexibility in the way that you implement a standard like EDI. Now the ironic thing is that 10 years ago we used to complain about how the EDI wasn't flexible enough and we needed new XML standards and new ways of sharing data. Today I would argue that we have the exact opposite problem. We have too much flexibility, and that flexibility is really what's driving the complexity for most companies in the supply chain. Thanks for listening.